Welcome to Homefront Sit Rep with Willis.
And Megs. Don't forget about Blaze.
We're just a couple of veterans having a good time talking about what's on our minds.
And maybe yours.
You can find us on Apple, Amazon, or Spotify.
Or wherever you find your favorite podcasts.
Welcome, everybody, to a live edition of Homefront Sit Rep with Willis and Megs. How is everybody doing?
Woo!
Man, I tell you what, it's been an exciting day. We just got done recording with Cover Sunscreen, and tonight we have a special guest, Rich LaMonica, the host of the MisFitNation Show. How are you doing, Mr. Rich?
Doing great. Finished a great day of work, hanging out with soldiers, and I'm ready to hang out with you guys tonight and chat.
Well, we are glad you are here, my friend.
And I would definitely want to give a shout out. It's thanks to Rich helping us get this kind of stream thing going. You are a plethora of information, my sir. So I appreciate you so much.
No problem.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Anytime I can help fellow veterans out and get them going, it's good for me.
And I still, every now and then, well, I say every now and then, but it's almost every other day that I'm texting Rich and asking him some kind of question about this or some kind of question about that.
So who's the monkey and who's the football? I'm just wondering.
Puddle Pirates got jokes.
4 days. I mean, there's only so much that we can do. Who's the monkey and who's the football?
Sorry.
Oh,
I'm trying to share it.
Okay, I guess we found out who.
I'm the monkey right now.
You are Uber for the Marines, so it's all right.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm just trying to share the stream at the present moment in time, and it's acting really funny. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Funny like hee or funny like haha?
Funny like haha.
Okay.
Oh, man. Rich, so how's your day, buddy?
Not bad. I got up and I was alive, so that's a good start to the day there. And my dogs didn't eat me up because I fed them on time at 5 a.m. where, my lab thinks he's going to die. So I fed him. I went to work. Like I said, I got to hang out with some awesome soldiers as they're getting ready to do some live fire exercises. I'll be with them again all day tomorrow and Wednesday. So that's always a big plus for us to get out there and give back to the soldiers and able to come home at night while they still suck it up out in the field.
Right. Now, you're down around Fort Campbell, right?
Yes, I work right on Fort Campbell.
Now, you are retired Army, 22 years?
Yes.
And then you still work with...
Do you want to put out his social security number, too, and his mother's maiden name while you're at it? Like, sometimes you can let a brother share his own information. I'm just saying.
I would agree. But still,
I got you, Rich. Don't worry. I'll fucking...
She's giving me way to go, ain't she? Let me tell you.
Well, he's Mr. 202 number, so I already realized that he doesn't necessarily want all of his information out there.
Well,
very good.
Dang MP over here.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
Yeah.
So, guys, we are live with Rich LaMonica, man. I tell you what. So, Rich, I met him, a month or so ago, and we kind of connected right away. And you got your podcast, the MisFitNation Show, and you're hooked up with Heroes Media Group. And we had Adam Bird on not too long ago, and we were discussing some stuff with Mr. Adam Bird there. And it just seemed like our path was destined to meet for some reason. Yeah. I don't know exactly what that reason is yet, but we're figuring it out as we go. And you bring a plethora of people onto your podcast, and you discuss all kinds of things. Yes. Like last night, you had Bam Tech on. I forget his name. What was his name? He was a Navy veteran.
Brent Capps.
You had him on. You bring a whole plethora of people with different experiences in this and different experiences in that. So tell our listeners a little bit about you.
Okay. minus the 22 years you already threw out there. I'll step back 22 years in the Army. But I was born and raised in New Jersey. Lived in a railroad apartment with my 2 brothers and sisters.
I have to ask you. Hang on, I have to ask you a question.
Go ahead.
What exit?
I really don't know, but I think it was 14. We didn't have a car until I was like 18 years old, so I took buses and trains everywhere. But I got that question a lot, though. Thank you. But a railroad apartment, for those who don't know, is an apartment with no hallway. So all the rooms are just connected by a door. So there's no privacy. And with 3 brothers in one room, there's danger. Danger close there. My oldest brother was in the Navy. So when he left, 2 of us in there, just mayhem. I got it there. I was high school. I didn't want to go to school like most kids. So I was taking all the shop classes and such like that, graphic arts, because I knew I was just going in the Army. That was my whole goal in life since I was a little kid, sitting on next to my dad, watching the black and white 13-inch TV, watching Vietnam or even war in Israel. I said, I want to be a soldier. I want to do that stuff right there. It seems cool. But by the time I was a junior, I was too young to join on my own. My dad said, no, and enough of us have joined the Army, so you need to go to college. I said, whoa, I haven't taken a class to go to college. He said, well, figure it out. So my whole senior year, instead of just slipping around and doing nothing, I was taking sophomore, junior, and senior level classes at the same time to get all my maths and the English requirements, and then, of course, study for the SAT, which somehow I passed. I got into Berkeley College in New York. As soon as I got in, I said, Dad, I got in. He said, well, how are you going to pay for it? That's why you wanted me to go. So I figured a way to pay for that. Did 1 year there, then transferred to St. Peter's College, and I played football for 2 seasons. Where I went there for a year and a half. And I've just said, no, I got to go in the Army. It's the only thing that's going to keep me alive. The only reason I'm in school right now is to hit people. And that's why I was playing football. I can hit people through it. So I joined the Army. He said, just don't go infantry. So I said, okay, I won't go infantry. I went chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear, high yield explosive. And I got stationed with.
You were NBC?
Heck yes.
Oh, we were friends for a minute.
And then you're an MP.
You crazy motherfuckers.
There's some things wrong with us, little twitches here and there. 22 years later, I went to 4 combat deployments, 3 times in Korea. I guess every time I said I didn't want to go that way, I wanted to go to Europe, they sent me to Korea. I asked to go to Fort Benning, they sent me to Fort Riley in Kansas. So anytime I asked for something, they sent me to total polar opposite. Asked for Germany, got Korea. So 3 times in Korea, 2 and 2 in both theaters in Guat. And then 2012, my last deployment, last official deployment, I got wounded my second day in country. Mortar hit behind me, went through the back of my left leg, out the front of my left leg. And they evacuated me to the hospital in country there, and they did surgery. I begged and pleaded not to get surgery, so I didn't want the Army ever to do surgery on me. But this time I had no choice because I was kind of out of it. They did the surgery, put me in a transient tent to recover for the night. I came out, and then there's a medic standing over me, said, you got to go back to the hospital. We forgot something in you. I said, oh, nope. You had your chance. That was the one surgery I'm doing. I signed a waiver to go back to my cop and go back into the fight. And then I stayed in the fight till December, till we re-rotated back out. Came home. I PCS to Aberdeen, Maryland. I did 2 years on a special missions team and then hung it up. I said, that's it for me. I'm going to hang it up. And I PCS back to Fort Campbell for 2 days, retired. Got out in 2015, just after I got my bachelor's degree. So you see, I started college 22 years prior. I got my degree, finally got my bachelor's degree. That's how much of a good student I was. It took me 22 years to get that degree.
Oh, man.
So, hey, I'm about that far in, and I haven't gotten mine, so I'm working on it. Eventually, I'll get there.
Keep pushing forward. So January 2015, I got my bachelor's degree. In June, I retired. My daughter graduated high school. My whole goal was to stay until she graduated high school. She, at that point, had written a book, and it got published by that Christmas time, I think. So that actually brought me and her close together. I was gone all the time. I wasn't in her life. So we got to go on a little book tour with her, doing book signings all across the East Coast, all the way out to St. Louis and such. So I was not in her life most of her years because I was constantly chasing that deployment, chasing that adrenaline, doing everything I could to be all I could be, like the commercial says. And then we're like best friends. Every Wednesday we go to lunch. She just texted me a joke just now as we're sitting here on here. She's waiting for me to laugh back at her, but I'm not going to do that right now. But she also helped edit my book, the 13-Step Guide to Success, which came out during COVID. So she was my editor, which was awesome to have her as my editor. And my second book is in publishing right now. That's having an argument about my cover. They're saying it's too big, but I'll fix that. That's the first time I've been told something's been too big in my life. So that's awesome. But I'm also currently, along with the podcast, working. I work 40 hours a week with soldiers. I do my podcast, and I'm also pursuing my doctorate now. So I stayed with education after I got out. I'm in Liberty right now, going for my doctorate in Homeland Security.
Oh man, that's awesome. So to get your book published, did you go through Heroes Media Group on that, or did you do that on your own?
Did it on my own.
Nice. That's awesome. We had Matthias Carter on. He's from Chicago, Illinois, and he wrote a book called.
You're such a Marine.
What?
Illinois.
Yeah, Illinois, man. I'm a redneck, man.
I try all I can. Listen, Linda. I try all I can.
Well, I'm sorry, I ain't a damn Yankee like you.
How do you say where we live?
What, the city I live in?
Yeah. Well, no, not the city you live in. The metro city that we're a part of.
Louisville.
Oh, but there's an S in there, so why don't you say it?
No, because it's not right. It's
Louisville?
It's not.
So
right.
then why is it Illinois? Okay, anyways, moving
But
on.
anyway, so yeah, he wrote a book called Instead of Sheep, a Soldier's Way of Explaining PTS to His Son. And he's published, and he's actually working on other books as well. So I love it when I see a veteran that publishes a book of some sort or does something creative and gets acknowledged for it, pretty much. I guess that's the word I'm looking for, right?
I think so.
Yeah. So I'm excited for you. Why are you being a butt, man? I tell you. Rich, can you take her and have her as your co-host, man?
I got
I'm
the
done
right
with
here.
her.
I'm coming. I'll come.
Just
So
a couple hours
when
straight down the road.
Yeah, so when I come down to visit my nephew, I don't know when that'll be yet, but I'm gonna have to swing by and we'll have to go drink a adult beverage or two. I might bring Megan with me if she's nice.
It's just nice.
And then when we have our next
Clear downstairs, so it's good.
what's that?
I got bottles of Kentucky Clear downstairs, so it'll be all good.
Nice. I'll have to bring Southern Cross bourbon with me. I got a bottle of that, and I'll tell you what, man, it's really nice. I like it.
I like it a lot.
I'm gonna have to send Alan your way
That's what
with Crux Distillery.
you're still disappointing me.
Wow.
Because you're supposed to say I like it a lot.
I like it a lot. I tell you what.
It's like he gets in front of you and then he's like all puckered up. Like,
No.
do you want me to check your asshole? Like, do I need to go in there and like open it up? Some?
No, I'm
like,
good.
Because I think Rich is good. I think he's good. Like, I think he's fine. I think you can take it.
So, Rich, you just recently had
See, he's trying to move on.
your
See that?
300th episode.
Yes.
So you've been podcasting for a while.
About 2.5 years.
2.5 years. Oh man, one of these days we'll get there. I mean, we've been doing it a couple months now, 5-6 months. I don't know. I've done lost track. My days are starting to run together. My nights are starting. It's like, holy cow! But I love it. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I love it. We're booked solid for the next month on our days that we record and stuff like that. And I know we're going to have to throw lives in there, like kind of like what we're doing right now. We're going to have to throw lives in there to keep people engaged. So how have you, for 2.5 years, kept your audience engaged with the stuff that you have on your shows?
It's a great question. In the beginning, like I told you, I started very rudimentary on my show. I'd sit in my Jeep, sit in a new casino they parked in. They made an Oak Grove here, park in the back of it, and I record right in my Jeep. Just audio straight with the air conditioning on, so I didn't sweat to death out there. And I'd sit there, security drive up, ask me if I was okay, and I'd do it. And then I would take advice from those who I was interviewing. I'd take advice from other podcasters. And I moved on and got, studio stuff set up in the house so I can actually do it at home, and started adjusting the hours where I did my actual interviews. For the first year, well, actually almost year and a half, all I did was recorded shows. I record, record as many as possible every day, 3 a day sometimes. I'd bank them, and then I'd release every Tuesday and Thursday. And then I'd have Warrior Wednesdays where I just highlight a warrior on Wednesday and send them out. So I'd get them out, pumping them out like that. Then when I started doing live shows, I just focused on live now. So Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, live shows only. I do them live, and then I release on Tuesday, Thursday to record it as the time comes to get them out. So since I had that backlog of all those recording ones, a lot of my now live ones don't come out for like 6 weeks.
Okay. So you're talking. You download the audio and then send that as a file to your podcast for your audio podcast, right?
Right.
Okay. So that's what we kind of do too. So now that we've moved over to here to streaming, when we get done doing an episode, either live or if we record one, we download the audio as well and send it over to our post platform so it can send it out to Amazon, Spotify, and all those. Which is what I like about this having StreamYard is what we're using, and it's I tell you what, it's made a difference, I think, with what we do and how we do it, and the able to reach out to a broader audience.
Right.
So I definitely like that. And then, that's if I got questions, I can just call you on the phone or text you and say, "Hey, Rich, I got a question, man." Unless you're helping the boss, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like last night, I was helping the boss, so I couldn't put the break. I got in trouble for staying up here too long. So.
Oh man, I'm sorry to get you in trouble, buddy.
It was also football Sunday, so I was the divorced husband all day, watching football all weekend, and then I said I'll help you after my show, and then I didn't get down there in time. So.
Oh man, yeah. So we were going to have Rich on Sunday, but that's one of his days that he records and stuff. So we had to push him to Monday, which I'm glad he was flexible for us. So who do you what do you got coming up, like episode wise?
Tomorrow I have another veteran coming on, Lisa Federline. She's a fitness person, both mental and physical. I met her just on Instagram. She messaged me and said, "I'd love to be on the show." I said, "Cool, where are you?" She's in Clarksville, so it's a happy accident. And I actually knew one of her friends already. I met her through a Travis Manion Foundation, who I had her, Jessica, was on a few weeks ago, about a month and a half ago. So I had her on here. And then now I'll have Lisa tomorrow, so that's tomorrow night. So that'll be a good show as well.
So Megan was just in Tempe, and she's got a contact for I guess it's one of the largest Travis Manion Foundation.
It is the largest region, I guess. Jenny Waugh, and I apologize if I'm saying your name wrong. She's the coordinator for the West region for the Travis Manion Foundation. It was super cool. I got to meet her while I was out in Tempe for the 9/11 moving tribute.
Okay.
And so the 9/11 moving tribute was with Valor's Veterans Community of Arizona, a Coalition of Arizona, and Travis Manion was out there, and she was representing them. So if you go to our podcast group page, you'll see where I did a live out there interviewing her.
Okay.
And she was just amazing. Talk about somebody that understands like the mission, if you will. Like she even signs her emails with "if not me, then who?" So she's also working with me to kind of maybe get reconnected with some of the other organizations I used to work with once upon a time. But yeah, Jenny Waugh, she's out of the West region, out of Arizona. And then I'd also like to throw out there that they have a regional summit on October 28th. So if anyone's interested, they're in the Arizona region. October 28th, there's going to be a regional summit, and that's where all different veteran service organizations come together. But she particularly is with the Travis Manion Foundation, and she did just a great job of explaining who they are.
We're actually going to have her. We got to reach out to her and get her scheduled on for our podcast.
Mm-hmm.
We could probably send her your way if you would like for us to do that.
I'll send you her southeastern counterpart, Joe Greco, who is I'm the chapter lead here in Clarksville for the Travis Manion Foundation. So I have this.
And then, so one of the things that
Here.
nice. Yeah. So one of the things we also talked about is, I don't know if you, ooh, you're right down there.
Yeah, I dropped my thing.
Don't
Sorry.
hurt yourself.
Don't drop your thing there.
Yeah, don't drop your thing.
Stop thinking it that hard.
I was about to say, I thought you wasn't big enough.
What did they say?
Hey.
Don't drop the soap, big homie.
But,
hell.
no, one of the things we talked about is also like Joe Quinn. I know Joe Quinn from a previous organization, and he does a lot with them as well. And so he's kind of a name that's known within that organization now. So it's just it's neat. I like it when a lot of us veterans, even if we leave one, but then we go to another, or like we always kind of seem to find
Each other,
you know, because those that are really, really in it, it's okay that we bounce from one to another, to another, to another, because what we're doing also ultimately is trying to do the best for ourselves, but the best for other veterans.
Definitely. And
Yeah.
not every VSO or veteran organization fits everybody. You got
Mhm.
to understand that too. They all say they're helping you, but they all help you in different ways. Travis Manion helps you by giving you that purpose to get out there, mentor youth, and maybe do a service project in your neighborhood. Team Rubicon gives you that purpose to go to a disaster, run in with a chainsaw, and help someone get their life back together. You're meeting someone at their worst part of their life after a hurricane, tornado, earthquake, whatever. Team Red, White, and Blues Fitness. You do fitness, you build that camaraderie, get back into the community, do your thing. Wounded Warrior Project. They started off by trying to get Wounded Warriors back on their feet, but they kind of lost their way a little bit by saying every veteran is broken and we're the only ones that can fix them. So they're still trying to rebuild that, I guess, that message and get that back out there. So they do the right things. They were one of the first people that reached out to me when I got wounded, and they made me prove that I was wounded to join. And when I joined them, I realized that they were just letting anyone else in as long as they served, and maybe they broke their toe or something like that. So it wasn't about wounded warriors; it was just about warriors. And it kind of gave me a stale taste in my mouth. But I still support them because they supported me. It's just not for me anymore. And
Right.
I'll send someone there for help. I just don't go to them anymore.
Yeah, no, it was one of those things. So I actually was a trained peer mentor with them once upon a time, and I used to go on their Project Odysseys. And I went down a rabbit hole at one point, and when I needed them the most, that's when they kind of kicked me to the curb.
Yep.
And so that's kind of where I was like, oh, I did all this time with you and all this volunteer work and all this, like, trying to say, hey, thank you so much for helping me. And then now that I'm in a rabbit hole, like, I got crickets, you know?
Yep.
So that's the other great thing about the woman that I met out there and a couple of the other veterans that I met out there. I guess there is a gentleman, I'm not going to say his name, but I guess he's out there with Wounded Warrior, and he's attempting to do everything possible to bring it back to the way it used to be. So, and I felt I met another veteran out there that's a part of that Arizona group, and he recently went through a Wounded Warrior program, and he said it was phenomenal. So it sounds like they're trying to work on it. I'm not convinced, but I'm one of those. I'll see it when, if I see it, I believe it.
Yep.
So until then, but hopefully, we'll see. So, but it just stinks because they have done such a great job on their branding.
Yes. Everywhere.
That, like, literally, you could be up at 1:00 in the morning, and all of a sudden a commercial comes on. Buy our blanket. Like, I mean, they mastered that. And so they got the funds coming in, they just misappropriated them. That's what stinks,
And they actually helped a lot of other organizations build with that money. So,
yeah. And so again, that's where like Team Red, White, and Blue partnered with them. Travis Manion partnered with them. Team Rubicon partnered with them. We've all partnered with each other once upon a time. But then it's like all of a sudden we get too big for our britches, as I like to say. And then it's just money, 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 money. And I'm like, whoa, slow down. Slow down. Because it goes back to are we really helping that individual veteran? And that's always been my biggest thing.
And is that really what you're doing? Yeah. And a lot of
Yeah.
them, there's other organizations that they chase the headlines, so they chase the Me Too movement, and that basically alienated half of their base, half of the people that they were supposed to be helping. So
Willis and I's necks literally broke for, if anyone listens on audio, like nodding up and down, because yes. Yeah.
So, and that's an organization I worked for. I actually worked for the organization, and I seen the writing on the wall. And the only reason I stayed there as long as I did is I didn't want to be a statistic, because most veterans quit their first job after a year, and everyone in my office was basically pushed out after a year. I was the only one that was left, so I was changing what my actual role was, and I just couldn't find that comfort anymore until my first sergeant finally, a former first sergeant, called me and say, "Look, you want a job here? Yes, let's do this." So I took this.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah. So, like you were saying, with some of these 501c3s that are out there, some of them cater to, like, disabled veterans. Some of them cater to veterans with PTS. Some cater to, this veteran or this veteran. But what'll happen is, like, if say Megan's with this organization and she feels like she doesn't fit in that organization, well, she decides she's still part of that organization, but she decides to go look at this organization. Well, first organization gets upset and pissed off because Megan is pulled to this way. So they're like, why are you stealing my veteran? That's my veteran. No, man. If a veteran doesn't fit in your organization, they can still be part of your organization, because some of your organization might help them. But if they need to go over here because it's a better fit for them, let them go. Um, One vet at a time is what it takes to. It's all it takes. If you focus on one vet at a time.
One vet, one event, one interaction, one
Mean the world.
one thing at a time.
That could mean the world to that veteran.
Oh yeah.
One positive interaction with that veteran could mean the difference between them be staying in the light or them going to the darkness, and we lose them. So do we want to keep that number at 22 so people can raise money? An organization says no more 22, or keep them alive so we don't have to worry about that 22? That's what you got to think about.
Yeah.
And you kind of said it. You said that there was one person that kind of, I think everybody can have, like, it's not just one, but maybe one at a time. Like at one point, at one station in your life, or at one point in your life. But lots of times it comes down to just one at a time. Like Willis was my one at one point, 100%. Like, that's not something I shy away from. That I was going down a rabbit hole, and Willis was, and his family and everything that they did for me. The organization that he was with were kind of like, nah. And he said that's bullshit. And so he took it on personally. He and his family took it on personally. And that's why he's literally like a brother from another mother, and I'm a sister from another mister. And like, we've been connected, and that's how we're, like, I'm sitting here today,
Yeah.
because it took that long. And I like to think, and I've been told, I've heard that I've kind of been that one for some people along their way. But I hope so. Because that's my mission also, is to pay it forward.
Definitely.
I don't want to just sit stagnant, and that's one of the reasons we're doing this podcast.
Her Irish almost came out.
I know, right?
Went to Boston real quick right there.
Yeah.
So funny. Okay, hang on a second. I have a reason for this. I was literally at my daughter's field hockey game earlier, and they were playing North something or whatever, and they're like, "Go North, go North," and I was like, "Where are you all from? Like, it's not North Louisville, And they're like, I was like, "Are you from New England?" They're like, "Yeah." So then once we started talking, it just started to kind of come back, and I guess, go North. So I was like, my podcast.
Now it's
So
stuck.
we were talking about veteran service organizations, and I heard a story the other day that I'm going to share with you guys. So a veteran walked into a VSO brick and mortar. All right. Walked in the front door. Everybody that was there looked up at the veteran, turned around, and continued what they were doing. All right. Didn't acknowledge said veteran. Said veteran stayed there for 15, 20 minutes. All right. If you're a brick and mortar VSO and a veteran walks in your front door and you don't acknowledge them within the first 5 minutes, something awry could go on. So if this said veteran, was suicidal, okay, not saying he was, but say if he was, decides, well, here I am at this brick and mortar that's supposed to help veterans, but yet they looked at me and not said one word to me, and then decides, all right, well, 20 minutes, been here long enough. I'm going to go out in the parking lot, sit in my car, and do what I came here to do.
Yep.
That right there is fucked up, bro. I don't care. I don't care who you are. If you have a brick and mortar and you're supposed to help veterans, fucking acknowledge them.
Well, and that brick and mortar with their office doors is designed to be open so that anybody can walk in at any time. It's not like it's by appointment only. So that also, let's throw that detail in there. It is not by appointment only. It is meant to be open that anybody can come in at any time. And that veteran did that.
So it's sad, but that probably happens every day across this country, and we just don't see the numbers.
Oh yeah, I would agree. I mean, I forget. I was watching a show. It was a military show. I can't remember what it was. Guy goes to a VA appointment, does his VA stuff. They turn him away pretty much, and he goes out in the parking lot, and he winds up succumbing to his demons. That stuff, man, that can't happen. I mean, God, it annoys me. And I'm just full of rage at the present moment in time, just thinking that, you know, a brick and mortar would turn a veteran away, not knowing what the situation is.
And not knowing anything of what that person, that young woman or man came in there to ask for.
Yeah.
He just asked
30 seconds.
Yeah, 30
seconds to figure out WTF, mate. You know? Like,
all you have to do is say,
give them that much. Give them that much.
Say hello.
Yeah, just say hello. Yeah. Just say, hey, say hello, have a seat. We'll be with you in just a minute once we finish what we're doing.
Once we're done playing words with friends or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all it takes.
I literally had a Vietnam veteran. Like, we were like at Walmart, I think it was. I held the door open for him and I said, thank you for your service. He walked through, immediately took a U-turn and came back to me and he goes, what? And I said, thank you for your service and welcome home. And he just grabbed me and started sobbing.
Yep.
Like, he was on the way out the door and just, he's like, I thought no one cared anymore. It took holding a door open and a smile and that's it, you know? Like, I'm no fucking saint by goddamn any means. Like, bless the Lord Jesus Christ and Spirit of Sanctity and Baruch Atah Elohai Hallelujah.
I got screwed away because
like I'm just saying. I mean, I could do it all. Like, Mazel Tov, hooray, you know, like whatever. But I'm just saying, it just took seconds of my time.
Yeah,
it doesn't hurt. It don't hurt you at all just to even say hello to somebody.
Hello. No, I would agree with you 100%. It does not take. It won't hurt you 1 minute just to say hello to somebody. Like, I deal with people every day at my job, and I run into veterans all the time. I mean, it's constantly like no fails. I might do 5 jobs a day. 3 of them are probably veterans, and if I'm like Megan, if I see, a Vietnam veteran or whatever at a restaurant, my kids and myself will go up to them and thank them for their service. And I don't care if I don't care what era veteran they are. If they served in the military and I could tell that they're military, we're going to go up and we're going to thank them for their service. I mean, that to me, I think that's the right thing to do. Some people would be like, "Oh, well, you're intruding on their privacy." I was like, not really. So, if they're in public, there's the expectation of privacy is nil to none anyway. Um,
Yeah, my daughter, I teach my daughters the same thing, and that's with first responders because I was one as well, you know. And it is crazy to see somebody going from being like all tight, rigid, to all of a sudden you got a 10-year-old and now almost 13-year-old going up to you and going, "Thank you for your service.
Yeah.
Thanks for keeping us safe." For them to go, I've literally seen it like whole physical change in their body reaction. And what did it cost them? It cost them 2 seconds of their time.
Exactly.
But I remember being a recipient of that when I was a police officer. And it did. It made a difference when, the very last job I worked at was at a college campus. And to have the college kids come up to me and they would call me Officer Megan, like, "Thanks for being so understanding. Thanks for, looking out for us." I'm like, all right, I just had the shittiest shit show. And not because of them, because of my leadership, you know? But then they say it, and I'm like, nah, well, you're why I'm doing it, you know? Like,
And I understand a lot of veterans don't even know what to say when someone's thank you for your service. It's not something we did for thanks. We did it because we wanted to. We all did it for some different reasons. Some people, a lot of young people that served with me in combat, joined after 9/11, knowing they were going to war. So they
mhm.
signed up, raised their hand after 9/11 to go to war, and they'll come home getting thanked for their service. These are kids. These are young kids. I was
Yeah.
already in almost 9 years when 9/11 happened, and I joined to get out of the city and to find a better way in life. It just happened to take me to war, and I trained like hell for those first part of my career for things I didn't think was going to ever happen. I thought we were just training to be in the woods for the rest of my fucking life. But and then all of a sudden 9/11 happened, and you turn a switch. I was on the border of Iraq when it happened. I was already in Kuwait
Mm.
when 9/11 happened, and a
Oh,
switch. So you're no longer getting ice cream now. You're actually going to war. What do you do? And we had people in our platoon that were from, I guess, 35 years old down to 18. That 18-year-old that joined for college money at that point is now at war.
mm.
So now that mindset's in there. You come home and now someone says, "Thank you for your service." What do you thank me? I have no idea what to say. So it's taken me a long time to figure out what to say. I said, "No problem. I do it again." Shake their hands, walk away. It's every person has a different response. Like you said, everyone's going to have either they'll be that hard, rigid person. I'm a rock. You can't do nothing to me. And then when that little kid comes up and says, "Thank you, sir, ma'am," it'll break you up. It'll make you do things. It make you kneel down and talk to them.
Oh yeah.
Make that kid's day just as much as it's making yours.
yeah, so with me, especially having a service dog, it's one of those things that it kind of changes things. But I personally do not take "thank you for your service" very well.
Right.
Because I also agree in the same mindset of I do it all over again. I didn't do it for any gratitude. I did it because I felt like I could, so therefore I should. That's my mindset. If you can, you should. Um, but then when I have this cute, cuddly, little looking service dog, I kind of try to just play nice and say thank you, and then obviously questions there ensue. But
Of course. Can I?
Speaking of cute, cuddly service dogs, he's actually doing some good self care at the moment.
oh my gosh, he's actually laying on the bed that I got him. This is amazing. No, you have no idea. Like, I bought this bed for like $100 freaking dollars.
Here, let's do this.
Yeah, okay, yeah, we got to show this because this is a big deal.
It's a big deal.
Hang on.
Look at that little guy.
Oh, he ain't little. Hang on.
Oh, we still looking. What is up?
Yeah.
Oh, he always knows when a camera's on him, don't you?
Yeah,
Go-
he
go to
never
sleep.
lays in that. He's normally over there in the pile of cushions over there is where he normally is.
Or on the cold concrete.
Or on the cold concrete floor behind us.
But yeah, no, I spent $100 damn on that damn bed. Finally, he's in it.
Did we lose you, Rich?
I'm here. I got you.
There you go.
Alright.
You froze up there for a second. I didn't know what was going on.
But it's almost like that whole lead a horse to water.
I had
Oh man,
a long talk with my dogs last night since we got them like $135 Posturepedic bed and $80 Posturepedic bed for them, and they're laying on the couch. Not letting me sit on the couch.
Mhm.
I sat there. I talked to them, doing a knife hand at them. It doesn't work. I got nothing out of it, and I just walked away. They don't listen.
We got two little dogs upstairs, and one of them. So we got a big bed for them upstairs, and these are little Shih Tzus, so little small dogs. And one of them will lay on the bed and be fine, but the little black one I got, she will get up in your lap, and she'll start at your lap, and then she'll slowly low crawl up your chest, and then right until she's in your face, and
She's like the itsy bitsy spider.
yeah, it's freaking crazy.
My corgi lab mix, she'll put her paw around my neck, and she has that little dew claw thing
Oh yeah.
right into my carotid artery. So if I switch, it's done. So she sits and holds me like that, so I can't move. Like she doesn't want me to
He's
leave
just
her.
waiting to do a Columbia necktie. That's
Yeah,
all.
she's watching. I let her watch too much of the murder shows while I'm gone. So
Yep.
she learns
Dang.
lots.
That's why you got to put it on Animal Planet for them.
I take them outside and tell them to find dope all the time, since I keep them on investigation discovery all day long.
Nice, nice.
Well, maybe you can make a side hustle off that.
Yeah, they'll never learn.
So you got some stuff coming up in November. You're gonna do Veterans Week.
Yes.
Instead of like Veterans Day, you're gonna do Veterans Week, and I'm kind of excited to be on that podcast. November 7th, I believe, is when we're doing it. I think that's gonna be super cool.
Yes,
So what made you what made you decide to do the whole week?
I started last year. I first started on Memorial Day last year, right? So I had people come on and tell the stories of the ones they loved that they lost. So each night I had someone talk, like Gold Star families and such, or even brothers of someone that was in combat, or sisters, come on and talk about them. And I said, okay, I brought a depressing one. Let me bring on something you can tell the story of your service, tell the story of you. And so I did all last year, a whole week. I did the same thing. I actually had the first platoon I was in when I was first in the reserves. It was my first platoon from the reserves. I had them all on there. So a whole bunch of old dudes just hanging out here, just talking like we'd never missed a beat. It was over 30 years since we've seen each other. And we're just talking smack to each other on here. I was laughing so much, and they were talking about flipping Humvees, and they couldn't remember who did. And I was like, it was me. I flipped the Humvee. I was the one who flipped the Humvee. I know it. And man, it was you. Yeah, it's great. It was good times. And I would do it all, like you said before, I would do it all over again. So this year, I put the word out a little earlier, and every time someone contacted me and said, hey, you could be on my Veterans Week. And that's how I got you guys. I said, your Veterans Week. Threw that line out, fling it in there. I got you.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
So we actually have a really big event coming up on Veterans Day. We got a local Mission barbecue up here in Louisville that's doing they're having a Black Hawk helicopter. They're having people from the Mogadishu Mile there. So we're actually going to be doing a live that day from Mission Barbecue. And then we're also going to be doing a remote, which Megan's going to go set up with a church in Shelbyville, Kentucky. They're going to be doing a veterans event, veterans brunch called Serving Up Christ with Veterans. So that we're going to have two going on that day at the same time, which is going to be a little tricky in its sense, but I think we can pull it off. So yeah, we haven't got to that point where you're at, where you're doing a whole Veterans Week. Maybe one of these days we'll get as big as that, but we're just happy to be where we're at the present moment in time.
And the owner of Mission, the founder of Mission Barbecue, Bill Krause, I met him when I was stationed in Maryland. Great guy, amazing human.
Mm-hmm.
He has 2 sons right now that are both serving, one in the Navy, one in the Marines, both are pilots. His one son, Andrew, I worked with him with the United States Global Leadership Conference. When he worked there, he had gotten out of the military. And then his little brother became a pilot. He said, "Oh, no, it ain't happening." So he went back in to become a pilot as well. So now they're both flying. So he's very
that's
proud
freaking
of military dude. He has 2 sons that are rocking it right now.
Man, that's awesome.
No, it's amazing what Mission Barbecue does. Like I didn't even realize until I knew somebody that's like works there now as a community ambassador. Like she's like, I almost run into the issue of I don't know where to do a new food drop. Like we're talking about first responders, like fire departments, police departments, things like that. She's like, I'm running out of places because they tell me keep going, just keep going, just keep going. You know, so between military and everything like that. So if you're in the Louisville area, you're a first responder or military veteran service organization, reach out to us because she's looking for brand new food drops. And apparently, it was told that she didn't go west of the 65, but she's willing to go west of the 65. And if you live here, you know what that means. But yeah, no, it's amazing. She reconnected with Fort Knox recently, which was super awesome. They had the helicopters out, and then
it was on I think 60 Days In or something like that too. So you don't want to. It was
what's that?
They had their own show about west of the 65 up there on 60
yeah.
Days. And people undercover in the trailer parks there doing drugs and stuff.
Yeah, so that was 60 Days In was what J is it Ville or Town? That's in Indiana. It's Clark County.
Jeffersonville.
Okay. Yeah. Clark County did 60 Days In for a couple seasons because I actually watched it even before I even knew that it was right across the river. And then randomly, I had a veteran buddy who shall remain nameless call me, and he needed me to pick him up. After, I mean, everything was fine. Everything was dropped. It was just one of those stupid nights. You know what I mean? And I was like, I remember pulling it up to him, like, I remember seeing this in the show. like, I should not be excited that I'm picking my buddy up from a night in jail. But okay. But anyways, yeah. So anyone in that area, reach out to us. We'll love to pass information along to her. But yeah, no, Mission Barbecue has been
amazing.
They even helped Willis out with the family situation once upon a time.
Yeah.
So
just recently, matter of fact.
Yep. Hope that's all right. I said that, but I'm just saying when they hear that there's a veteran or a first responder in need, they are right there. Recently, we just had an LMPD officer that was shot in the line of duty, and next thing you know, she's delivering food to the family, so they don't have to worry about it. So, yeah. So shout out to Mission Barbecue, whether they like it or not. We're gonna do it. So and that goes. I found kind of most anywhere, wherever they're at. It's not just it's not just here in Louisville. It is the company mission.
Now I will tell you this: the St. Matthews location. They've always done catering, like on a smaller scale catering wise. But now the one here in St. Matthews, which is going to be the first in the whole company of Mission Barbecue, they actually have a whole section that's going to be dedicated for catering. And Jennifer Gilpin, who used to be the community ambassador, she's actually taken that job, that role on of as catering manager for Mission Barbecue, and eventually, if this works out, they're going to move it to all the locations, from what I hear. So, kudos on Mission Barbecue for going above and beyond for veterans and first responders throughout the community.
So, if you have one in your area, check them out, support them. And also, if you're with a VSO or something like that, ask to talk to somebody about maybe what they can provide for you.
Ask to talk to the community ambassador.
Yep.
Because they will, they can do food drops for 4 people. They can do food drops for 10 people. If you're having a business meeting and you're all veterans, it can be about anything. Just
talk to them.
Talk to community ambassadors. Say, hey, this is what I got going on. This is how many people I got, and they'll bring you food.
Yeah, it's one of those. If they can't do it that time, they'll probably scoop you on the next.
Yeah,
you know.
So Rich, I meant to ask you this earlier. What got you into doing podcasting? I know we talked about some things, but we didn't ask you why you got into podcasting.
Well, during COVID 2020, so I was finishing my master's at Georgetown, and I realized I had so much time on my plate at that point now. So I finished school, I wasn't doing anything. I had work, and then basically working from home at that point and doing WebExes and Teams things with soldiers. So training them via video. And I said, I got to find something else to do. I have 8 hours of my day. I have nothing, 8 hours of my week. I have nothing going on. What's out there I can do? So I said, let me try podcasting. And I listened to a couple of Joe Rogan. I listened to Marcus Luttrell's show, Team Never Quit there. And I said, this can't be hard. If that knuckle dragger can do it, I can do it. The knuckle dragger can do it, I can do it too. So I went out and I asked my soldiers, I said, look, man, can I take our platoon name and make it into the show? Yes, on, you can do that. That's great. That's awesome. I can't wait to see it. I said, good, because you're going to be on it. You're going to be the first ones on. So my first couple shows were mostly my soldiers and a guy I worked with in my first job out of the military, telling their stories about how they came to service and all that such. And then they said, you know what, brother? Having us on is great. Having other veterans on is great, but we need to know other stuff. We need to know how to maybe start a business, write a book, get into Hollywood, get into music. I said, okay, I'll see what I can do for you. And I just put some flyers out there, feelers out there in social media, and it just like opened up a tidal wave. And everyone started coming. I want to be on the show. I want to do this. I just got 3 messages while we're talking to be on the show.
Nice.
Show off.
Yeah. No big.
Just kidding. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I love it, man. I mean, like, okay, so we were talking earlier, and we've talked about it before. Is we got Gunny Dreyer. He's a MARSOC Marine, been in Marines for 20 plus years. We had somebody that represents him reach out to us and say, hey, I think Gunny would like to be on your podcast, and it would be a good story. And at first, I didn't know who he was. Like, I was like, who's this guy? So I started Googling, and then I found, a name that they don't want to go by, but what they're called, which is the MARSOC 3. So to them, that's a derogatory name for them because there's so much more than that. And Megan and I had a meet and greet with Gunny, and I tell you what, his story, goose pimples all day long just from his story. And it's one of those, I'm out of the military, she's out of the military, you're out of the military. We can say that there are chains of command within the military that are bad, that are horrible, that only look out for themselves and not their soldiers. And then you got some good commands out there too. Don't get me wrong. I know I had a few while I was in where my command was amazing. But he's in a situation where his chain of command kind of ran him aground there for a while, and now he's getting out of the military in November. He'll be out, and he's like, "Well, what do I do next?" He's transitioning. He was planning on being in the military for a lot longer. He's what 20, I think 24 years in right now, and he wasn't ready to get out yet. But now they're making him get out. And he's like, well, what do I do next? And a lot of veterans out there don't know what they're going to do when they get out, especially if they plan on being career. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean that's kind of what we decided to do is to highlight veteran service organizations and veterans small businesses and stuff like that are actually out there doing good in the community. And then like you host people that can show people how to write a book or do this or do that. And when we come across you, it's like, man, this is somebody we need to reach out to. And I'm glad we did. And we hit it off as soon as we talked that first time, pretty much. so I'm definitely excited about that, and I can't wait to see what you got coming up, and then I can't wait to see what's in our future. Uh, I'm sure we're going to do a lot of collaborations in the future between the two of us, sharing. Well, I got this guest. I think they would be good for your show, and vice versa, because we've already done that. And I got some more that I'm going to be sending you here shortly in the next day or two, and got some more that coming up that I think would be good. Samuel Deeds. Funny story about him. He was my battle buddy in boot camp. He's from Maine. I'm from Kentucky. So Yankee and Southerner in boot camp. And
I'm south of the Mason-Dixon line, God.
but hell, I haven't talked to him in 15 plus years. And we reconnected, and he's coming on the show. Well, he's a professional skydiver. So, the guys that dive into sports stadiums with the flags and stuff, he does that. He's also part of.
I want to do it.
I do too, man.
I wasn't giving you a high five. I was volunteering. But I'll still give you a high five because I don't want to leave you hanging.
So he does that. He's also with Kentucky Wounded Warriors. Hell, I just saw on his Facebook the other day he was up in Alaska doing fishing in Alaska. I'm like, well, I want his life, man. But so we're going to send him your way as well.
Awesome.
That because his story is pretty amazing from what I read on his bio. Which, like I said, we after I got out of the military, we lost track of each other there for a while. But yeah, man, I really appreciate you coming on here doing this live with us and hanging out for what, hour and a half, 2 hours we've been on here. So before we go,
I got 57 minutes on mine.
You got what?
I said mine says 57 minutes, so I'm good.
I was about to say.
Well, it might be 57 minutes.
He's a Marine. He doesn't know how to.
Well, I was looking up here.
He doesn't know how to.
It says live for 1 hour, 59 minutes.
No, that's not what that is. Okay.
Crayon.
I didn't have my crown today, Rich. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'll send you a box of purple.
No,
no. He's a red only.
Oh,
my daughters literally collect the red crayons
and put them in Blaze's vest.
To bring back to Willis. So
nice.
Yes.
I love my little girls. They're awesome.
Yes. Quick shout out to my oldest. She had a badass field hockey game today.
Nice.
I couldn't stay the whole time.
Well, hey, it ain't my fault, bro.
Yeah, how you gonna hide from the camera now? Okay. Anyways, the joy of doing the podcast. No, it was worth it, but it's fine. But yeah, so I got to see
first half at least.
The first half and a little bit into the third quarter, and she's literally this big around.
Yeah.
And she was a brick house. Like no one was getting by her. She plays midfield.
Nice.
So that was super awesome. And I think maybe she had an assist or two, if not secondary assist. But she was rocking it. So
I'm gonna do something real quick. So I meant to do this earlier, Rich, and I'm sorry. You can keep talking.
Oh, okay. But anyways, this is only her second year playing field hockey. So she literally had not even seen a field hockey stick prior to last season.
Wow.
And she is, she keeps getting invited to go up to the next grade level as far as this year. So last year they did 2 grade levels. And then now she's in that next tier of 2 grade levels. So she's in the younger one. But she keeps getting invited up to play with the older one. And nice. For never holding a stick before, she's crushing it. I love it.
She is a shit brick house. So
she is. And like I said, she's like literally this big around. Like she is like you watch and height wise and everything. Like she's not like short, but she is shorter. But itty bitty, but I've taught her how to spread her base and like bring her legs out, hold her core. she's got the core of a gymnast, no doubt. And then every now and then, if you need to, you just drop your shoulder a little bit because that's what the other player deserves. So, but yeah, no, she was crushing it today. So I was so proud of that.
So Rick, I'm sharing, or Rich. I don't know why I said Rick. I got a friend that's an Army vet named Rick. But anyway, I'm sharing your website here, and across the top, it shows episodes, videos about register as a guest, store reviews, coaching, and speaking. And then I can't see the last part of it. But so if you out there, listeners, if you want to be a guest on Rich's show, go to his website, MisFitNation.com. Click on register for a guest, and you can actually become a guest on his show if he sees you're fit and worthy to be on his show.
And then feel free to donate for a cup of coffee. That's the lower left-hand corner there.
Yep. So you can donate right here, lower left. And then
concurrent donation, we take all.
There you go. What's the microphone on the right?
You can leave a voice message to me.
Nice.
You're
fancy.
One person did that so far.
Oh, you know what?
Oh, you're in trouble now.
From Australia.
You shouldn't have told us that.
From Australia?
Yes.
Awesome. Now I'm gonna tell my listeners to come on to yours.
Come on, please. Anyone that is listening, go on and let's take advantage of that. Right?
Me love you long
there.
time.
Sucky.
Oh hell.
30 seconds, find out.
Then looks like you got a newsletter. That's cool. And then you got everywhere that you're listed on Amazon, Apple, Spotify, Google, Castro. Yay.
Ghana's the one in Ghana that's in India. I'm a hero in India for some reason. I'm not sure why, but that's where that goes there. Ghana.
Well, how in the hell did you get on that?
I have no idea. No idea whatsoever.
All right,
I was actually interviewed by an Indian radio station because of it.
Huh. Okay. And then listen on Radio Public. What's Radio Public?
It's just the podcast app that you can have on your phone, or you can do it on your actual desktop, and it'll play all the episodes in a row.
Nice. Now I got a question for you.
Run.
No. So I'm gonna stop sharing this real quick. So you said when you do your podcast, it goes live on the radio.
Yes.
Or internet radio.
Yep.
Is that who's that through?
About Face Radio.
About Face Radio. Okay. That's cool. Now, how many? So you do an episode and you're live, and right. About Face Radio is sharing it. Now that goes all over the world, right?
Yeah.
Now, do you see like analytics from that, or
they? I don't see them. It's about an average about 3,000 a show.
That's freaking awesome, man. That's awesome. How did you get hooked up with him?
It was called MBR, Military Broadcast Radio, at first, and it was run. The person who founded or helped found that was I'd say a stolen valor kind of guy. Gave himself a Purple Heart.
Oh,
and so a lot of the DJs that were on there, and he had pulled me in there, jumped off and became About Face Radio, and they asked me to stay on with them because my show was getting that much generation. And I'm now.
You a badass.
I try my hardest.
That's freaking.
And it's a real good core group. Navy guy out in East Tennessee, Adam Baum. He has a great show right before me every Thursday night. Always gives me a great lead in. PDB, Philip Blackman, awesome show. He used to have a talk show. Now he does a radio show. EOD dude, awesome dude as well. All veterans are on there, so it's amazing.
Man, that's awesome, dude. Yeah, that's awesome.
Is it awesome?
It's awesome.
It's pretty awesome.
All right. No, she makes fun of me because, like, I'll say, I got you, and I always do it in threes, and I don't know why. Or sometimes I'll just whatever word I'm spitting out will come out in threes.
You just get hooked on one, and then it's
like a scratch.
It's like a. Yeah. Nothing but love for you.
I know.
Well, that's like I go blah, 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 every now and then, so it's all good. It's nothing but love for you, brother.
Yeah. Oh, all right, Rich, man. Well, it's 9:00. I know you got things to do. My wife is probably up there heated. So I'm going to jump off here before I get yelled at anyhow.
All right.
But thank you for coming on, man, hanging out with us. And I enjoy talking to you on the phone, on the video, all that good jazz.
Like every time it's been absolute pleasure. So, and you are just a wealth of information. And
oh yeah, for sure. And like I said, if you ever need anything, man, feel free to reach out to me or Megan. And I know you're probably the same way. If we need anything, to reach out to you. So,
yeah, anyone
man.
listening, if you've got a question for Rich, reach out to us, and we'll funnel it. So.
Well, before we go, Rich,
Yep.
Tell people how they can get a hold of you, bud.
Best way to get a hold of me is either through the website, MisFitNation.com, or the MisFitNation podcast at gmail.com. I answer pretty quickly there. Or if you go on the website and leave a voicemail, just don't leave it in a different language, and I'll get back to you as soon as I figure out how to get it.
That's what Google Translate is for, brother. Come on.
I can figure out how to get it, actually.
No, so you use one. So you play it through your computer while your phone's listening.
Ah, see, AI, got it.
Sometimes I got the brain.
Yeah, gotcha.
Sometimes the brain works. I mean, it's mainly scrambled up there, but there's still little running loose parts that still work. So, but
the new book should be coming out within a week, hopefully, if they accept my cover anytime soon.
Man, so it's already published. You just need a new cover art on it.
Yeah,
That's
it's called Out of the Dark.
That's fucking amazing.
I was gonna try to.
So I think me and Megan need a
not one of
copy of
those.
your book so we can read it.
I don't know.
This one?
I don't know if you.
Both of them. I think both of them. Yeah.
So you don't need a pose, like. Hang on. Hang on.
Oh, there we go.
There you go.
I feel molested over here.
It's not that kind of book.
Oh yes.
That's
not
not gonna work, no.
Oh, all right. Well, I was willing to offer my services for you. So
There is the cover of the new book.
Ooh, I like it.
that's cool.
Out of the darkness once they approve it.
Out of the darkness. I like it. I like it, man. All right, Rich.
All
You
right,
got
y'all
anything else? You got what?
have a great night, and I'll see you guys on my show. We'll flip the mics around November 7th.
Man, I cannot wait. And buddy, you have a good night. Like I said, if you need anything, give me a shout.
Thank
Same
you so
thing.
much for everything. Really, truly
You're
appreciate
welcome. Anything I can do to help you guys, let me know.
it.
All right, buddy. Have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening. Suggestions and comments are always welcome.
Discrimination will never be tolerated.
Cannot wait to have another great show with you all,
Don't forget, you can find us on Apple, Amazon, Spotify.
or wherever you get your favorite podcast. Stay safe out there. We got your six.